Hey, my guest today is Ben Camille from the Travel Defend. It's not the Travel Defend, it's just Travel Defend.
Just travel defend. Yeah.
I'm so used to saying the travel wins, so it kind of throws me off. Yeah, travel insurance concierge company. Really interested to talk to you because I had some experiences of not having travel insurance pre-COVID and
Mm.
had a trip to Japan set up, and it was quite the headache to get my money back.
Oh, on your own, it would be. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then obviously as a traveler, business traveler, going to Hawaii and doing that for my work.
Yeah.
Interested to talk to you. How's everything going today, Ben?
Yeah. Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it. Things are going great. Yeah. I can't wait to get into this because a lot here, a lot of interesting stuff here.
We're trying to keep it scoped down. So, if you were to, what's your elevator pitch for Travel Defend?
Yeah. So the beautiful thing about what we do is that I really don't need to pitch it because it really sells itself, which
Sure,
is, something that's very special. So basically, if I can, you tell me if it's okay. Can I go back a little bit, just kind of give the origin of how it
absolutely.
started? Is that cool?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I used to run super, super high-end luxury tours, okay, for almost 20 years. We're talking one, two, three, $400,000 per family to go just for a week, okay? And so we're just very high end. And COVID really destroyed us. We were doing that for 17 years. And essentially, coming out of COVID, we knew that no one was going to book any of these events without travel insurance. Okay.
Yeah.
That was clear. And really, everyone in the tour industry was in the same boat as me. And so I really became obsessed with it. Was one of the things on my list. I said, you know what? I want to not just pawn it off or just tell my clients, figure it out yourself. I said, I'm going to figure this out because at that point we were actually really nervous that we were even going to survive if we
Sure.
didn't have this figured out. And I just became obsessed with it. I don't know why. My brain really understood it well. I started to really get involved in the question of reality, meaning you were saying, get your money back or medically protected or whatever it
Yeah.
is. Like, how do we actually make sure that happens in real life? Okay. In actuality. And so I went to all the industry events. I started understanding who the players were. I started meeting the head of the claims department, the CEOs of these companies. I started to understand all the differences in the policies. And we got to a point where I started helping out my own clients. Okay. And I started to realize, you know what? Financially, it's the best business you could ever have, really. I mean, there's no inventory. The commissions are massive. Okay. Our clients don't pay a penny more than they would pay anyway. I mean, you're going to pay a certain price based on your age and where you're going and how much it costs. But for us to get commission and help you with that, it does not change the price whatsoever. Okay. So I saw that as a real plus,
Yeah.
and I started helping all of our clients with it. Then we went to all the different tour companies in our niche. I said, hey, you guys are in the same boat as us. Why don't you send all your people to us? I started a company called Travel Defend. I said, send all your people to us and we're going to help all your clients. We'll kick you back a commission as well. And they said, great. We know nothing about travel insurance. All these very wealthy travelers, whether they're wealthy or not, point is nobody knows anything about travel insurance. They don't know what the hell they're buying.
Yeah.
And they don't know what to do if they have a problem. And so there was a huge opening here that I realized. I was like, you know what? Like, there's these companies, billion-dollar companies. They love that you know nothing. Okay, they want you to know nothing. They want you to not but know what you bought, not understand what to do if you have a problem. And so I said, there's actually a huge opening here for us to become experts at every policy. We're not fighting with individual insurance companies, all those idiots fighting with each other. That's not us, right? We're a concierge. We're here to help you, meaning whatever you need, we have it. I have access to everything. And so we will do the paperwork for you. Most importantly, make sure you're protected in real life, help you with a claim. We now bring millions of dollars to insurance companies. We have tremendous power there. Okay. So I don't need to pitch you. It's obvious. There's no reason not to use us. Once someone knows about us, they will always use us. And we have thousands of clients who go on many trips and they keep calling us and calling every time they need travel insurance because there's really not even one downside to using us. And so that's the basic idea, the basic elevator pitch, I guess, and maybe a little longer than that, but
Oh, yeah.
that's the basic vibe of
It's a
what
New,
we
it's a New
do.
York elevator. It's okay.
Just going from the 80th floor to the first floor, whatever. But
And
yeah,
no express.
yeah. So that's the basic gist of what we
Okay.
do. And it is really it's unique because no one else actually does this in America. It doesn't exist. We're the only one that does this, only company that does this. Right now you have people who, let's say, can go to, I'll just mention names, Allianz or AIG or whatever, all the
Yeah.
travel insurance companies. You can go direct to them and buy one or two options that they offer, which again, you don't know what they're even offering. And if you have a problem, you're faceless to the insurance company. You're faceless. You're nothing. So it's tough. Or you can come to us. Even if you wanted to buy that same policy, just buy it with us. It will be the same price. And then if you have a problem, I can call the head of the claims department. When our whole team here, we have personal cell phone numbers of the head of the claims department in all these companies. For you to get anyone of consequence on the phone is basically impossible. Okay. Not basically, it is impossible. You'd have to
Yeah.
put a lot of work into it.
Yeah, I
But
know.
we speak to them on a daily basis. Yeah, you get some call center in the Philippines, and half the time they're not even giving you correct information. We've had many times people say, I called the insurance company directly. They told me ABC, and it's wrong. It's straight wrong.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these call centers, these guys don't even understand what they're even talking about.
So for people that have never used travel insurance,
Yeah.
it's not only just for your big $100,000 family vacation trips, right? I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
how to use it on a corporate level?
well, we work with a lot of corporations and different companies. Let's say they're having retreats to, like you said, overseas, some company retreat.
Yeah,
We work with
Mexico or
Microsoft. We work with a lot of companies, and they have thousands of employees that are going to these places. And for them, it's not really about the cost of the trip. They're not that nervous that if something happens and one of their employees can't go, they don't want their money back, but they want to make sure that their employee is medically protected. Okay.
yeah,
So let's say you're leaving America. God forbid someone has, we could talk about anything, a broken leg, a
yeah,
stroke. We had very, very recently, just last week, we had a man in Mexico who had a collapsed lung. He went diving and he had a diving accident and he got a $57,000 bill from the hospital. They actually wouldn't let him leave without the insurance paying it. It was almost like a jail, like he was
yeah,
stuck there. And so very important, these companies, you could say, as a company, the bigger ones don't say this, but smaller ones could say, well, you're kind of like, I know you're coming for work, but you're really on your own if you're medically injured or something. That's uncommon. Most of these companies understand if
yeah.
something happens to your employee on their trip, they're looking right at you, meaning as the employer saying, hey, buddy, I'm here on this
Take care of it.
retreat, like
Yeah,
take care of me. And what does it cost anyway? I mean, what makes travel insurance expensive? Okay. It's a number of factors. It's either the age, you have someone very old or very expensive trip. But if someone is doing a cheap trip, or you don't have to cover the trip, you keep that low. What is it going to cost? $100, $200? Not a lot. I'm saying it's not going to be expensive. And so for most of these companies, it makes sense to just make sure that everyone is protected properly. Also, the way we do it, we link everyone in the portal. So let's say you have a group of, and that
okay,
you can endlessly link. You have a group of 100 employees traveling somewhere. And we all know that if the CEO, for example, if he gets sick and he doesn't go, everyone is like, there's no point to this trip anymore,
yeah.
And so we could link everyone together so that if something would happen to him, all of you can collect, even though you're all not blood related or anything like that. There's a lot here. Listen, we can go very deep into this, but of course, for anyone who is in a corporate environment and needs travel insurance, it wouldn't actually be different than just an individual traveler. You can reach out to us direct, or whoever is at different companies, different people are the ones who put this whole thing together. If that's your job, you can call us directly and we'll set this up with you.
So your commission take is coming from the insurance companies, not from the customer as much?
Right. Not as
Okay.
much at all. It's not a penny from the customer. Now they tell us, insurance companies tell us that we have something called preferred rates, which means that if you come to us because we do such volume,
Yeah.
we can get a better deal, a better price than you can even get on the street. But I'm not claiming that here, even though they have told us that, because 9 out of 10 times I don't see that. Once in a while, I will see like a crazy cheap price that someone will get because they're working with us as opposed to buying themselves. But it's rare. I would just say, to be quite honest, it will be the same price as it is, anywhere else.
Yeah. So it's going to be an add-on, but it's not because they're using Travel Defend. If they're using travel insurance,
Well, it's not an add-on. Let's say you go to buy a policy, the computer quotes you $100. Come to us, it will be the same $100. It's not, it's just there for whatever reason, that's how the industry is set up, which makes an opportunity for us to come
Yeah, I was gonna
in
say, it's perfect
and
for
do
you.
very well. And the question I have really, and it's not like to toot my own horn, but I am actually curious.
Yeah.
We were in the same boat as literally millions of other travel agents, tour operators. Why did nobody set this up like we did? Not one. Nobody does it but us. I don't have an answer. I'm still confused. I mean, it's just like I guess I was open to opportunities that
Yep.
presented itself, because I find it surprising that a lot of people, because the money, we've stopped the tours. I'm done with tours. This is a much better business. We've been growing this. This is entering our third year here. And I mean, we're doing triple-digit growth every year. I mean, we're growing very quickly.
I would tell you it's interesting because I have a couple of accounts from what I do for my day job, and there's opportunities for them, and I tell them, and they're like, "Yeah," and you're
Yeah.
like, "What do you mean, yeah? Like you could triple your business,
Mm.
and here's how it's done. Like I'm not going to do it for you. I mean, but I have other, and they're like, "Yeah, no, we're going to stick with what we do." Like
Right.
what?
Well, do you think it's just more of like someone labeling themselves, saying,
Yeah,
I am a tour operator.
this is
That's
what I
how I
do.
view myself. That's what I am. And they can't be open to like a new opportunity. And I don't necessarily believe in stretching yourself too thin. Like I'm not looking to do like three different jobs, quote unquote. So I
Yeah,
do hear it, but this is actually better than what we were doing before. Like it's actually a better business in its entirety.
I think, God, unfortunately, I think a lot of companies are stuck in their ways. Like this is what I do. This is how I do it.
Yeah.
If they could still advertise in the yellow pages, they would.
Mm.
And I'm just like, how do you not see the advantageousness of technology? I mean, whether it's TikTok and Instagram for marketing,
Yeah.
it's free. Like you can
Yeah.
use these platforms for free. X/Twitter, Facebook. I mean, if
Mhm.
you're going to do the app, but they don't even like a lot of my accounts don't even have those social media platforms.
What accounts? Like, what kind of business are you talking about?
I sell, my day job is I sell Western clothing. I sell cowboy hats, cowboy boots
Oh,
to
cool.
retail stores throughout
That's
California and Hawaii.
that's really awesome.
Yeah. So, and then I have one major account, Boot Barn, and they're nationwide. They have 370 stores nationwide. So
Wow.
I used to have to travel to every new store opening.
Mm.
There was in North Carolina, North Dakota, or South Dakota, or Colorado. They're opening so many now that that would be a full-time job.
Mhm.
Um, but so yeah, a lot of the retail stores, they just don't. They're
What
like,
other opportunities are? Oh, you're saying to advertise in social media and stuff like
yeah,
that?
you can create and then selling.
There's a whole world there. There's a
Yeah,
whole
they
totally
can.
world
I have a couple
environment
of
there.
accounts that have set up their online business, so they
Yeah.
sell now nationwide, virtually worldwide, but mainly nationwide.
Yeah.
And so I go, a retail store is limited to the square footage that they have, and then how
Mhm.
many people, I'm willing to drive 20 miles, 30 miles to go to that specific
Oh, not
store.
anymore. Nobody.
Right. They don't have to. They can go on Amazon or, their Google,
Yeah.
Google search, whatever, and buy a pair of boots or a hat or a shirt. And I'm like,
You know
why?
what's interesting is like during COVID, I started this other business,
Yeah.
which is still it's very small. I mean, it's not really doing much, but basically, I used to get my hair cut in LA at a place called the Westerner. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah.
It's basically these two guys who just are fantastic barbers, and the whole place they're like the epitome. They embody Western whatever. I mean, you go in there and they're playing Clint Eastwood movies, and they just have all the memorabilia, and it's just a super cool place. And I said to the guy, because I love him, he's a fantastic guy. I said, "Do you sell hair product?" I said, "You're just like everyone will buy from you because you're just like the coolest guy ever." And he says he doesn't. And I said, "Why don't me and you go 50-50 and we'll create our own line of hair product called," so
Sure.
we called it Outlaw Hair. Okay. And basically we have like Silver Bullet, that's like a pomade that we have. And we have all these different products. And he still sells it in his store. But maybe we should talk after, see if that's a good product for any of these stores, you
Yeah.
know?
Cause I could go out. I picked up a couple of new lines. I was selling, I still sell Stetson,
Oh,
and
wow.
which is, like an iconic brand name. And then
Yeah. Yeah.
Roper and Tin Hall. And then I picked up some Saratelli and Traditions and some other lines. because I'm going out to those stores anyways. So why don't I
Yeah.
try and mark
Yeah.
up?
See what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll talk after. Maybe there's a good fit here. I don't know. You
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah. Can't hurt.
Yeah. I know.
That's how business works, right?
Yeah, but this is a good indication. Like the point is, you see how like, yes, I'm doing travel insurance, okay?
Yeah.
But my mind is never closed to opportunities.
Right.
Like I heard someone say this the other day and it really resonated with me. If I said to you yesterday, how many blue cars did you see yesterday, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't actually be able to give me like a real answer, right? But if I told you 2 days ago, I said, I'm going to pay you $1,000 for every blue car that you see, right? You would know for sure.
Yeah.
And I really, it's not that you didn't see, you did see, but it didn't like enter your brain.
Yep.
And so I feel like it's like this with opportunity. You know, there's so much opportunity out there, but we don't, it just doesn't register. We're really kind of asleep at the wheel. We're not focused and looking. And so I try in my life to just be very open to ideas because I think a lot of ideas have passed me by over my life when I wasn't paying
Yeah.
attention.
Wait till you get older.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like I was thinking the other day, like all these people, and I still don't understand it. Maybe you do, but all these people that I know, I said, oh, what do you do? Right. And they say real estate.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what does that mean? Like, if I'm not a real estate agent, like I actually buy how I buy buildings, I'm an investor.
Right.
Okay. So I'm looking at it maybe from the wrong perspective, but I'm looking at like, I don't have any family to help me. Like I have to actually do this myself.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, how do you actually do that? Because no matter what you buy, it's very hard for the rent to come in to even equal your mortgage payment. Okay. It's very tough. I did a lot of research on this. Like I can't even find a property to buy like that. And then if you're not, let's say you're breaking even, which is good. Okay. Well, you're not making any money. Okay. And then you need all this upfront cash to even start buying anything. And so I'm just like, where's exactly the money? How does this work? Like, I still haven't actually really figured this out properly.
Okay.
And so many people I know, they're just like, we're in real estate. Nobody, by the way, no one will answer this question. It's like a big secret. You try and get answers. Talk to anyone who sells on Amazon, right? I have other friends who supposedly are doing great selling Amazon products.
Yeah.
Ask them, how actually are you doing that? Because if me and you just throw shit on Amazon, no one's buying anything. Okay. It's a process. You have to build reviews and you have to take pay-per-click ads and you have to like build a whole thing. And, you know, I have friends that they just have access to random products that will
Yeah.
just come on, you know, like, oh, I have 100 soccer nets. Okay. So they got, all of a sudden they have 100 soccer nets. They
But how
start
do you sell
throwing
them?
that out there.
Yeah.
There's no reviews on your soccer net. There's already 8 billion other guys selling soccer nets. I'm like, how? And they're everyone, somehow these guys just making money. So I'm saying, and if you ask them, no one will actually answer the question, how is this working? How are you doing this? Because I promise you, me and you could throw soccer nets on there. No one's buying it. It'll just sit there forever.
But
I
it's
don't know.
interesting because I have a brother-in-law who will call me up. He's in Denver area. And he'll call me up and go, "Hey, what are you doing today?" And I'm like, "Why?" Yeah, I've got a lead on a guy's got a whole bunch of boogie boards sitting in a warehouse and he wants to sell them to me. I'm like, what the what? Like,
But that's what these guys do.
and they're $3 a piece, you
Oh
know.
wow.
And I'm
And what
like,
does a boogie board normally go for? Like 50?
well, it depends
100?
on the boogie board, right? So that's why he wanted me to go look at them.
Yeah.
Because it was in a warehouse, and I guess Walmart had canceled an order or something, and it was
Mhm.
already on the ship when it came out. So now it's
Wow.
stuck at the FOB warehouse. Stuff like that always comes up. But like you said, it's like, well, what the hell am I going to do with 4,000 boogie boards? I got to get a warehouse space for four. I mean, they're not going to fit in my house.
But so you haven't figured this out either, because
Yeah,
I have friends that do this, making seemingly to the outside world making crazy amounts of money, but I can't figure it out. I just don't understand it.
I think I have one account that does incredibly well online, but he treats it like a business. And the problem my retail stores have is they don't treat it like it. They treat it like,
Mm,
I'll just like a side hustle. Like, oh, I'll just
yeah,
sell a couple things online. And this guy is going to the seminars. He's learning how to do TikTok videos. He's learning how to
yeah.
integrate Shopify, and he treats it like a business.
Mhm.
And so he is doing incredibly well, but it's taken him a while. I mean, there's things like you can buy reviews. There are people that'll,
Amazon, everyone says Amazon's very strict about that. Like if
yeah,
you
yeah,
do that and they find out, because that's the thing that is always very scary
yeah,
for any of these guys, because Amazon owns your ass. Okay.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
anything you do, Or all of a sudden, let's say you decide that, let's say we're not just going to sell any random product that comes up. Let's say me and you are going to sell homeware. Okay. I'm just making something up,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
As soon as Amazon decides that they're selling that item, you're done. They'll just decide, oh, we sell cups now. Bye. And they can just also cut you out.
That could happen. What if AIG opens up their own travel insurance concierge called?
Yeah, but they're dinosaurs. They're impossible.
But
These
you know what I'm
insurance
saying?
companies, yeah, but there's enough. They don't own me, right? There's enough out there
No,
that they
but
don't
what if they
own the
came up with
world.
their own concierge and they went out to other people, but obviously they use theirs mainly, and they have the money, the marketing, the dollars to flood.
Yeah.
That's always. I mean, hey, I've got a retail store called
No,
Boot.
but the thing is, there's always enough out there. Like there's 300 million people in America. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So they don't own everything. I mean, I can get people that have nothing to do with AIG. Amazon owns the store. You can't buy anything. They own
Yeah.
everything.
You can go
It's different.
Shopify.
It's like if AIG or someone could basically say you can't sell travel insurance anymore. You're done. You can't sell it. We're selling it now and you're not selling it.
Right.
That's the correct example. Because yeah, what is AIG going to get every person in the world? No, there's always going to be people out there that they didn't get to.
Yeah.
But Amazon owns the store. I mean, if Amazon decides they're selling their product, they don't want you to sell yours anymore, you're done.
There are onliners that are not using Amazon now.
Yeah, you're right. You have to start from scratch. My friends, again, who are doing this, like one of them built a relatively big, again, who knows how big, electronic company. It's this one.
Oh, okay.
Here. It says Movo.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is my friend's company. He started this Movo, okay? But he's trying to sell off Amazon.
Yeah.
It's a pittance. It's nothing. I mean, it's so expensive to get traffic and it's so hard to generate those sales on your own. Whereas I would say 98% of his business is Amazon related. And he's nervous every day that Amazon is gonna decide they're gonna sell this now, and they're just gonna shut him out. They just decide, oh, you've violated a code of our ethics or something, and they just shut you down. His entire
Or they just shadow ban you.
But that's what I'm saying. They can do anything, so it's scary.
But yeah,
this kind of stuff.
that happens all. So Roper, the company I work for, we sell a flag shirt, red, white, and blue with the stars, and it's Americana, it's all that.
Yeah,
we sold, 8,000-9,000 of those to Boot Barn over a couple of years, and they kept them in stock year round because they sold so well.
Okay.
So what did they do? They went to a manufacturer in China and said, "Hey, can you make this shirt?" And they're like, "Yeah, how much?" Hey, we're not buying from you anymore. And all of a sudden they make their own shirt.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I don't sell 9,000 shirts.
Yeah. Yeah.
It happens. It happens every day.
Yeah. And that makes life tough. That's why that when these guys tell me all this stuff, I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Well, and with what you're doing, you're selling a service. So it's a little more difficult for somebody to come. I mean, like a mic's a mic to a certain extent, right? I mean, you can talk about the I don't know, all the different ohms and all the different ratings and dialectic, all the different things of a microphone that make that special. But somebody can knock that off. They send that over to China and say, "Hey, copy it." They make it. So that you're right. That it's difficult. But
what we're doing is very special. And yeah, I guess theoretically, insurance companies could do it, but they're not because it goes against their entire essence. Meaning these are $100 million, billion-dollar companies. They're not able to operate in that way. I mean, they're just, even if they did operate in that way, nobody would even know it. These happens to be in travel insurance. These companies are 30 years down the line. They're so behind. There's no technology, there's no algorithms. There's an algorithm in terms of coming up with costs, but like these guys are really ancient. And so there's a lot here. And I think that the insurance companies overall, they want people to be ignorant. They don't want them to know things.
Sure.
So they're kind of motivated to keep it like this. And my clients get paid.
Do you have an app?
I don't have an app. No, I'm thinking about it, but I have to have real value in an app. Like right now, what's the main value that we offer, the heavy lifting of the business, is really the phones. It's the phones. It's people calling and saying, hey, having someone they can talk to and having a conversation and saying, I need this, I need that. Now, on our website, we have something called the quote optimizer, which again doesn't exist anywhere else in America. But basically, our algorithm, we've created our own with artificial intelligence. We've taught it. So if you go on our website, automatically it will go through hundreds of policies in America, and based on the information you gave it, give you the one or two best options for you.
Yeah.
In terms of what's out there. Because right now you can buy a policy from like an Expedia type website that will have 100 options, but you don't know what you're buying. Like, they'll just give you a million options.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, maybe this, maybe that. So our algorithm will go through it. If you trust us, which I guess is very important. If you trust us, then we're going to give you one or two best options. Once you buy, you don't have to speak to anyone. You purchase it with us. We'll reach out to you over text or WhatsApp and basically say, hey, this is monitored 24 hours a day. If you have any issue, reach out to us. Our team is here for you.
Right.
These kind of things just don't exist in the world of travel insurance. And people, it's actually very important. In certain cases, we've had stroke victims and things like that where life or death were on the line. And also we've had many families and corporate accounts that are just doing hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars that they're looking to protect. And so there's a lot of money on the line. There's medically a lot going on potentially. And so everyone feels better when they have experts on their side like us.
I interviewed a lady named Bhumi Bhutani, and she owns way.com, which is they provide car insurance, and they have an app. So if you want to check your, for different car insurance and that type of thing, and it just seemed like that way they could get a quote, and actually they have a portal for their customers through their app. So that way
car insurance may be a little different.
Yeah.
But yeah, because people, when you're buying travel insurance, they're not interested necessarily in having like a whole portal thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would definitely check it out. I appreciate that advice for sure. I'll take a look at it.
Just another way to get out there.
Man. Always learning, always trying to figure it out. If there's a great idea out there, want to implement it for sure.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Your brain works the way mine works. Like I've thought about the Amazon stuff and this and that, and you're like, how can you make $800,000 off that widget? And how do you market it, and how much are you spending in advertising?
Yeah,
TikTok and Instagram to get that 800,000.
That's expensive, man. That marketing, if you do pay, in Instagram, Facebook, this TikTok, this stuff is expensive. Very
Amazon
expensive.
too.
Amazon takes a big cut of what you make as well.
That's why my one onliner doesn't use Amazon anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, it's not worth it. Like between the cut and during COVID, they're because Amazon's very strict on their dates. Like if you say it's going to be a 2 to 3 day shipment, if you're 4 days, they'll cut you off, and you're no longer. Then you're not allowed to be on their Prime. Right. And everybody that's on their Prime gets advanced placement.
Yeah.
So but we couldn't commit to 2 or 3 day shipment because we weren't getting our product from China.
Yeah.
And we were having boats sitting out in the harbor, and we couldn't get them. So we're like, well, it's close, but we can't ship.
Right. So, yeah, but that's Amazon protecting the customer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what they do. And that's why they're successful, because they always protect the customer.
Yeah, exactly. Because they think somebody else will provide that widget at some point.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why it is tough, man. It's tough to make money out there, and it's hard to really figure this out. And I feel like a lot of people are sucked into these online businesses and really think that that's the way forward for them, and that's how they're going to make. And when you really go down that rabbit hole, it is so much more difficult, and I think tougher to make money than you think.
Well, real estate's the same way. I mean, especially commercial real estate. All the guys I've ever talked to have never said. They always say your house should never be an investment.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, it's going to go up. So, and a lot of real estate guys say don't ever buy a house, rent.
Yeah.
And use your capital to put into an investment property.
Yeah.
And then you got to look at cap rates and everything else.
But the point of all this is why I feel so thankful that I do have Travel Defend, because it
Yeah.
really is special. And it really is, uh, obviously, what I love to do really is to help people. And that's what our team does here. We actually can help people properly. But on the other hand, it's a business that actually makes money. And is actually a good way to pull money out of the business. Because the main way we get clients is tour operators and travel agents send all their people to us
Yeah.
because they know they're not experts in travel insurance. They want to make sure that their people are protected properly. And they say, hey, just go to Travel Defend. They'll take care of you. And then we kick back a commission to the tour operator or travel agent. But, it isn't high marketing cost, although we are starting to get into that, looking for end users.
Hmm.
But, in many ways, if we can just, 10x the amount of feeders we have, it doesn't cost anything really. It's just
Yeah.
kind of like getting out there. And that's part of, we have a whole plan we're implementing on that. And that's one of the reasons I do these podcasts, just because, I happen to be a travel insurance expert. But I like to talk to people and I like to get out there. And this is just one good avenue of doing that.
That's why I started the podcast, because I'm generally inquisitive and I want
Yeah.
to know all these different businesses and all that. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
It's cool. Mm-hmm.
So what what's next for Travel Defend?
So I think what's next is really just, we ran into a real problem that we couldn't fix, and figuring out the solution to that, which I'll get into. This is kind of where we're at right now. But basically, for, in the beginning, when we first started, we had a lot of tour operators, travel agents coming in just because I knew people in the industry and different
Yeah.
niches and things like that. But we were finding that when we would reach out cold, so let's say you had a tour company, okay, African safari tour company, for
Sure.
example, okay. If I would reach out, or anyone on my team would reach out and just say to you out of nowhere, um, even however we phrase it, and the words travel insurance would come out, you would immediately go, "I'm not interested, thank you." You don't
Yeah.
even know what this is. You don't even know what we're talking about, but you're just like, I don't know what you're talking about. Leave me alone, right? They already assume that this is not good, that I'm selling them something, that like they don't even know what it is. They just say no, or they
Yeah.
don't even respond at all. And so if you can't go out there and get thousands of these tour operators, how do you grow the business? Okay, you can grow the business by just paying Google ads and Facebook ads and stuff. But like we discussed, that's a very tough way to
Yeah.
do things. Okay. So that was a problem that we were stuck with. And this may help other listeners if they have their own businesses and things like that. We were stuck for quite a while. Say, how do I solve this problem? And so this is the way we've solved it. Okay.
Okay.
Is I kind of was sitting there one day, and I have, different friends of mine who are successful in business. We were just talking. And I said, you know what I am sitting on? What I do have? I have almost 20,000 policy people that have bought policies from us. Do you know all the data we have here? Do you know how powerful this data is? I'm sitting on everyone's dates of birth. I know exactly how much their trip cost them. I know where they went. I know when they went. I know everything. Do you understand? These are all hot travelers. These are people
Yeah.
that really travel. And let's say, for example, you're running an African safari tour company. You say to me, my target audience typically is over 65 years old. They pay over 10 grand a person on a trip cost. And let's say most of them have been, throughout Europe in the last year, because, obviously they're now looking for a new destination. Let's just say that's your target market.
Yeah.
I can easily in my database find
Narrow it
you
down to
now
that.
thousands of those people. So when I contact you, I don't say anything about travel insurance. I contact you now and I say, I have thousands of luxury travelers. Do you want to talk? Right. And all of a sudden they're like, hell yeah, I want to talk. Because the main hardship that all these tour companies have is that there's nowhere to market. It's really hard for them to find people. And so when they come to us, we say basically, look, you start sending us travel insurance from your existing people. You partner with us and you say, I'm going to send all my people to you. As soon as you start sending us in real life, I'm going to open up the database. Okay. Not that I'm not giving you the names,
Yeah. Yeah.
but you tell me, the ad, give us the ad. I will, on our behalf, send it out, let's say, to the first 250 people that fit your exact demographic. Okay.
Sure.
And if you get any sales from it, I also get commission, just like a travel agent. So I'm skinning the cat on both sides, right? The point is, this is working fantastically well because I have a great list. all these tour operators want to, access that list. Plus the travelers themselves, because it's so targeted, in many cases, it's actually something they're interested in. They're like, oh, I was looking for a new tour to go to. Thanks.
Yeah.
And they're going to always open our emails, open our WhatsApps, because they already work with us. They already know us. When they see it come in from Travel Defend, they're like, oh yeah, we know who you are. And so this has really been the new way to open up everything. Where
Now, how
we
do
were
you,
stuck before.
but you're getting that data once they purchase the insurance.
Well, I already have almost
Yep.
20,000 people that have purchased policies with us in the last few years. So we do a ton of volume here, and we do a lot of people, and it just keeps growing and growing because even without getting tons of new tour operators, let's say you use us, you recommend to your brother-in-law, and then you recommend to this, and it's been just flowing like crazy because everyone wants help with this. Everyone knows, okay, look, I'm going on an expensive trip. I'm, let's say, going to Africa. I can't go without protecting the dollars on the line. And we just did two couples earlier today, in their 70s, and it was 90 grand per couple, okay, to go to Africa. So these guys are not messing around. They're not risking 90 grand each.
Yeah.
And they know if they go there, God forbid something happens, they need to be medically protected. Like, these people are not messing around. And so, we sold them policies, very expensive policies, but the point is that there's a world of these guys out there. And so those guys have all their friends.
Yeah.
And their friends are going, they say, oh, by the way, call Travel Defend. They just helped us. They're great. And it just goes. It's just been flowing like that as well.
So is that enough for you though? Are you happy with that?
No, that's why right now we're hitting into all these tour operators and travel agents in the way that I just told you.
Yeah.
And we've just started that. We literally just started that. We just kind of like figured out this plan moving forward of how to really access these guys. Because the question is, what do they want, right? We want their travel insurance, but what do they want? And that's how we came up with the answer is they want clients. That's all they care about. They want more clients.
Yeah.
And
Or
so
access
we have a way to give them what?
Yeah, at least access, right? I mean,
well, I don't give them the names, but we'll
Yeah.
market on their behalf.
Yeah.
And so again, it's free anyway. It's free marketing. And once they're open and they hear the pitch, they usually want to work with us for travel insurance anyway. They just weren't open to hearing it before. That's all it was. They just weren't open. They just would hear the word travel insurance and go, forget you. I'm not interested. That's all that would be happening. So now that they're open, they're like, oh, cool. This is a great idea. Yeah, we definitely want to work with you.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the age old sales question. How do I get them to want to buy from me without me having to hard sell it?
Right. So that's how we figured it out in our business. That was a big thing there, trying to figure that out.
So and you're just utilizing data that you already have.
And it grows every day. We do more policies every day. So it keeps growing. And we're not spamming our list. It's not like someone comes in and I'm sending all 20,000 a message. I'm looking at the exact, say, you tell me exactly what you're looking for. I'm going to find those exact people so that oftentimes when we do market, that marketing is really targeted and it really is something that those people are looking for in actuality.
Well, I think that's you're building a relationship sales versus a transactional sale, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because you're selling your relationship that you have in the sense of, hey, I'm not sending you an Antarctica tour because I know you go to Africa. This is what you want to do.
Yeah.
More targeted.
Yeah. Or at least it's a type of level of tour that you would go on.
Yeah.
Typically. And we have a lot of other, feeders that, do much more budget stuff. And we have a lot of budget travelers. We don't only deal with all travelers. It doesn't matter, expensive, cheap, whatever it is, doesn't matter. We love to help everyone.
I was gonna say, because like my trip, I had a trip scheduled, actually purchased for April of 2020 to Tokyo. And March of 2020, the world shut down.
Yeah.
And so I was 3 weeks away from my trip, hotel, all the tours, trains, planes, everything.
Yeah.
Like it was all bought. I had my 2 daughters going. One's now, anyways, it was a lot of work. So
what company was that with?
I did everything on my own.
Yeah.
So I didn't do a tour. I literally Nippon Air. and it was through Expedia. And then when I wanted my money back, Expedia was like, well, you got to call Nippon. I called Nippon.
No,
They're like, you got
Expedia is terrible. They're tough.
it was, yeah. It was, took almost a year to get my plane ticket
Really?
back. Yeah.
Okay, that's crazy. Listen, we have clients nowadays getting paid oftentimes within 7 days. Okay.
That's
My
good.
fastest ever, I had a lady get paid in 2 days. But certainly 2 weeks, under 30 days, this is very common. But I know
The
on your
hotels were
own, it can
really
be tough.
quick, but the airfare, because I went through Expedia, Expedia was saying, well, you got to talk to Nippon. And Nippon's like, well, you got to talk to Expedia. We didn't collect the money. And just, and I'm like, no, someone needs to give me my money back. It's not my fault that the world got shut down. You know, it was a Better Business Bureau claim. It was took a long time.
Okay, well, in the future, you'll use us and we'll help you out.
That's what
Make a
that's
much easier process for you.
like I said, it was when I got approached to talk to him, like, yeah, actually, absolutely, I want to hear more about this.
Wow, that's crazy. But
Yeah,
yeah, we hear that kind of stuff all the time. So, we're used to helping people and we're used to navigating these waters now because there's a lot to know.
yeah.
There really is a lot to know.
Well, I appreciate the time. What's the best way for my listeners to follow up and go to Travel Defend?
Yeah. So just straight up traveldefend.com. Okay. That's easy. And then our phone number is 1-800-578-2871. And if you just call there, we have a concierge team ready to help you. Or you can just go to our website and there's a button that says get quote. And then you can use our optimizer that we talked about.
Yeah.
And just if you don't want to talk to anyone, a lot of people don't. They're
Really?
antisocial. They're not looking to talk. They just want to buy, and that's fine. If you want to buy, at least if you buy with us, you'll be under our account. We can help you if you have a
Yeah.
problem. Because if you don't, believe it or not, a lot of people buy not with us, and then they reach out to us once they hear about us, and they say, "I really need your help with this." And when we reach out to the insurance company, just due to like privacy issues, they won't answer anything. If you're with under our account, we can do everything. If you're
Yeah.
not, we literally have no ability to help you at all. So it's important that you do buy under our account so that we can help you. Again, for the same price.
That's pretty cool, though. I mean, you found a good, nice niche.
Yeah, very blessed, man. Very blessed.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Well, continued success then.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Well,
it.
and we'll have to talk offline. So
Yeah, 100%.
start selling some Western hair products.
So we'll talk about that right now.
You got it. Well, hey, thanks again for the time and super appreciate it. Thanks, Ben.
Thanks. Have a good one.